It's ladies night, what? It must be Sarah on the mic. With sweet little Holly, got the sugar, got the spice. We're keeping us tight, with guests on the night. Linked up with Urban Spirit Studio. That's right. And I'm not a rookie on this all-star team. Me and Holly get your hook like we're fishing for green. This is home, never leaving us talent alone. Yes, it is my city, it's my throne.
Hey guys, and welcome to another Ladies Night with myself, Sarah.
And me, Holly, as we discuss life from pills
to pills.
So, Sarah.
Yes.
I want to talk about work because I've got a lot to say about this, being a female.
Yeah.
And my experience, especially working in retail, like a corporate job, and how as a female I've seen manager roles, how I feel personally being like a sales assistant, and like the interactions I have with men, and also asserting some sort of power as a female.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I find the male bosses I've had, they're like really respected, but for me, I've always been small. And this is an issue for me because imagine me imagine me telling you, Sarah, foul note, you've not acted up right, I'm not happy with you in the office. Would you be scared of me?
Well, I don't know it's about being scared, but obviously it's having like a respect, I guess. More so for whoever the authority is above you, sort of thing. I think in one way it could be some people don't like age as one thing. So I guess having somebody younger telling them kind of what to do, especially I guess if you've come in, let's say you came in after me and I'm thinking, well, I know a little bit more than you, I've heard that from people, where they've gone, well, I don't know who this young person thinks that they are and they're going to tell me what to do. Whereas myself, I'm one of those people where if that's your job, that's your job. So if you're my boss, regardless of whether you're younger than me or not. But I do feel sometimes that as women, we're not taken as seriously compared to men.
Definitely.
In certain respects, because it's sort of like myself personally, I'm one of those people where I speak my mind and it can come across, I guess, bad in some respects. My belly's rumbling.
She's hungry. She's hungry, guys. See, this is what I mean. We don't even get fed. Like, this isn't fair. Being a female's so hard. We don't even get fed.
I thought it was going to cook, like, you were going to hear it.
I can't lie, I'm starving.
Oh, my God. But yeah, myself as a woman, I'm quite an assertive person and I've not always been like that.
I would take orders from you because, like you say, you've not always been like that. But
no, I've not.
If I didn't know you and you told me to do something, I would do it and I would respect you as well, because the way you say things are like, you're very, like, say, assertive. So I think it depends, like, for you as well. But I think women in general struggle with that, having that dominance, because we're nurturers.
I think we can be misconstrued in a certain way, because I've had it said to me sort of thing, I've been very straightforward with how I want something to be or how I perceive something, and gone, no, it shouldn't be done like this, and it's this, that, and the other, and just given my opinion across. I've had male co-workers go, oh, careful, she's on a period.
Exactly, this is what I mean, because even when you are assertive, you're seen as sassy. If I hear that word thrown about, sassy, I'm not sassy. If that's a man that says that, they're like, all right, he knows what he's doing, he's a professional man.
Yeah, he's a professional guy. Look at him, he knows what he's doing. He's so cool and confident with the way he is, and but again, it's sort of like, I guess even as a guy, he can be like called passionate. He could get angry over something and it's like, no, do you know what, people? I'm sick of this and you need to do this, that, and the other. And again, as a woman, we're emotional. And look at her, she's going to cry. No.
Or like, it's like when you tell your partner to do something and someone's around and like, you're sick of it now. You want that thing doing. Oh, what have you done to upset her? Have you done something wrong?
Yeah, you're nagging now.
Yeah. You're a nagger, you're annoying.
We have that little joke, don't we, between us and some of the male co-workers here.
Yeah.
Not naming no names. We'll call him, let's try and think of a name. Dom. Yeah, Dominic.
Dom.
Yeah, we'll say Dominic, okay?
Yeah, Dominic.
You know who you are, Dominic.
Dominic's just not a nice name, sorry.
I know, sorry about that, guys. So Dominic, we can have a bit of a banter with him, can't we? So we'll say something like, oh, can you do this? Because we need something doing, within the studio. And he'll go, oh, you're nagging. So yeah, we're nagging.
He'll go, you're just as bad as my wife you are. You sound like my wife, you do.
But it's that, we have a laugh with it. But I think if it was, we didn't have that mutual understanding, then it wouldn't be a laugh. It isn't funny because obviously if a man was to come along and say, right, this is what I need doing within the studio, I need this doing, I need this doing, I need this doing, it's sort of like, all right, cool.
All right, do you want your shoes cleaning as well? Because I'll do that for you as well.
Yeah, just
right.
get on with it.
Yeah.
But as a woman, I think sometimes, not all men, I guess, but I think they feel a little bit uncomfortable with a woman telling them this is what you have to do.
Probably. That's probably true. And it's even like subconsciously, they're not even thinking about that they feel like that way, but they do. And that's again because of society in general, job roles, and how like it dates back, like traditional job roles, women would not be seen at the top. That's not something that would even have been normal to...
Even within the household, because obviously it's something, I guess, that from the household roles that have overlapped within to the professional roles. So I think maybe that's why if a guy has very traditional roles within the household, they might find it hard to be flexible within a working environment.
Well, that goes into household job roles as well. We go to work all day and we're expected to cook, clean, do the dishes. Especially, I've not even really had this experience much. You've had this for God knows how many years where you've had to put up with this, and I don't know how you have. But then as well, we're expected to do everything else. They come home from work, they've had a hard day at work, so they want their tea on the table and they don't have to do anything else. But we've been to work too.
Yeah, I think with my life, it's a little bit different because my husband, he does pull his weight. He's pretty good with those sort of things. But it's sort of like the unwritten rule that I automatically would do it, if that makes sense.
Because it's, again, subconscious in your brain. Like, you've seen your mum do that. You've seen your grandma do that. So then to you, that's just like, it's normal that you would...
be at work all day, absolutely knackered. We've done, you know, how much filming or interviews, and we've been doing all the stuff that we've been doing. And then get home, 6 o'clock, and I'll still rush as soon as I get in, wash my hands, you know, take clothes off, wash my hands, get on with cooking the dinner because I've got to get everything ready for the kids. That's not necessarily at the forefront of my husband's mind unless I tell him or ask him to do it. So I'd have to say, can you cook dinner tonight? Because, you know...
you have to ask. That's very true. I see that quite often.
But he would never have to ask me, can you cook dinner?
Because it would just be done. Because...
Yeah. So I guess that's something that I've just naturally gone into. Don't know where or why that's come from,
because it's again instinct sort of thing.
But I must say though that he does like all the washing up, so I do the cooking. I never have to wash up.
Yes, I do the cooking. Yes, I do the cleaning.
You know, he does all the laundry. I don't do it. I don't wash clothes.
But in that same like respect, what I want to know is, does your man...
What should we call it?
We'll bleep that out. Does your man, does he come food shopping with you? Or is that not normal?
No.
See, this is crazy to me because my mum and dad have always done food shopping together.
Really?
But I didn't know that that's actually not seen as normal.
Yeah, do you know what? No. So, right, my mum, when she used to go food shopping, she'd go with my stepdad because he drove and she didn't drive. So, but he would drive and stay in the car. Read his newspaper.
Stay in the car.
Read his paper or whatever. So she'd do all the food shopping. Like, he'd give her the money for it. She'd do all the food shopping, and then
they think because they pay, they'd have to do it. I would
possibly, yeah. You know, it's one of those where I don't think I've really deeped the whole situation.
It was only when my partner's mum went food shopping and his dad didn't go with her, and I was like, that's not normal in my household. Like, they do it together.
They share the cooking responsibilities though, because maybe it's that.
Well, in my household, it's like cook for yourself, really, because we all finish work at different times. So that's
right.
But they've always been like sharing roles in cooking. Yeah,
because I think that's where the main difference is with me and my husband. So he'll cook probably once a week. And then the rest of the time I'm cooking. So for myself, I just go food shopping because not only do I not stick to a list, because he's very, like, he will literally stick to a list. So if I was to write a shopping list and say, right, these are things I need you to get, he would go.
Yeah.
If, you know, again, if I'd asked him to go food shopping.
But you have to ask.
But then also he wouldn't look into, like, when I would put, say, lasagna with salad and, let's say, garlic bread or whatever for dinner, and I'd put down the elements, but then I forgot to put olives on the list, let's say, or peppers. He wouldn't
use his initiative to...
No, he wouldn't think, because he's just sticking to the list, whereas I would look at my list and then go, oh, you forgot to put olives on, you need that for the salad. Oh, you need to get some peppers, you don't have that in the fridge, and I would add to that. So there have been times when he has been food shopping, but I've not been happy with that because he doesn't get the thing.
So you have to stress at home the whole time because you know that they're not going to do it how you would do it. But I think that, again...
Yeah, so it works for us.
As females, I think... I don't know if this is generalising us, but I like doing something on myself because I know if I give my partner it to do, it's not going to be done right.
I guess so.
So there is that.
Yeah, I think with the food shop, and that's probably why he does the washing as well, like the laundry and stuff, because
I would not trust.
Yeah, because he doesn't like the way I do it, because I think he likes to do things like on a certain couple of days, and I'll just wash things every single day.
God, you're wasting money.
I know, and energy.
That is a waste of money.
And the laundry powder and stuff.
But your knickers are always ready on your bed, so why do you have to know?
I have loads now, so it's already...
There you go. Your favourite jumper, washed, sorted.
Yeah, he does it all, folds it up, it's on the bed, and I just have to pack it away, so it works. Not traditional.
There's pros and cons. But I think the tradition will slowly die. But I think it's taken its time. I won't lie, and I'm not gonna lie.
I do meet some guys who literally wouldn't even pick up a Hoover.
Yeah. Oh, you do. Yeah. 1000%.
They think because they pay into the household. You know, it's literally right. I've paid for the money. You know, I mean, I pay the rent or the mortgage.
Yeah.
And I give you money and this, that, and the other, that they don't have to contribute in.
It's crazy though, isn't it? Like my partner, I said, "Can you close the curtains?" While I was finishing off work, I was like, "Can you close the curtains?" He didn't know how to close the blind.
What?
He didn't know how to do that, because even something as simple as that, or I was like, "Right, can you like put dinner in?" Because I was working.
Yeah.
And we got back and we already discussed this, and then I was upstairs and I was like getting ready to start work, and he went, "Are you doing dinner then?" I said, "No." I said, "I've told you to do that. All I've asked you to do is put 2 pizzas in the oven." Ooh. And this man could not even do that. He could not even do it. He was sat on his phone, and like instead of checking the pizza, because I think in their heads they're used to someone else doing it for them, so instead of checking it, he was on his phone, and then the pizza was black. Because I was sat there on the sofa, and I was like, "God, this is going to be overcooked. This, but I ain't saying anything, because this is a job I've got for you. Like you can."
But he's thinking because you're there, you're gonna take over and you're gonna just do it
exactly.
Anyway. Yeah.
And I was thinking, no, I'm not doing it. I am sitting on my arse, and I'm not going to say a thing. You're on your phone, but surely you should know that this pizza has been in this oven for a while now. And then he's like, "Oh, my pizza."
So is it that you think that's a subconscious thing with him as well? Because it's sort of like
because
would normally do it anyway.
Yeah, sort of. And it's not like he doesn't cook, he does, but I know I do it better.
Yeah.
And I do cook better. I can't lie. So Sarah, I've got from Forbes, I've got a direct quote about women at work, and so it's like directly through COVID as well, and how this has basically set up job roles essentially. So Forbes wrote an article on women at work, and it said that in COVID, and this is backed up by research, female leaders reacted more quickly and decisively because women are more realistic and urgent. We have mother's instinct, whereas men didn't, and we can detect fear and we have a fight or flight mode. So what do you think about this? Like, because as women, are we better leaders? This is what science has said. Science has said that technically females have the mindset and the nurturing and reactive mindset to lead better than men. And this was proved. Well, it wasn't like it was. Statistics proved this through COVID, but whether you can say it's actually been proved, you never prove it. It's just this.
It's based on a study of 10 people.
Yeah, it just backs it up. But I'm saying, facts.
You're saying facts.
Yeah, of course I am.
I'm not 100% sure, because I do feel like, obviously women, we are quite resilient, and there's certain things that we have to go through every single month. You know, I would say with fluctuations of hormones, with periods and stuff like that. And I laugh and joke about certain things and think, you know, men would never be able to deal with what we have to go through.
Yeah, really, 100%.
Like monthly, I think they would have a week off.
Oh, you know? They'd have a month off. They just wouldn't work.
Yeah,
they'd just be like, I'm terminally ill. I can't do it.
Yeah. But women, I do think, yes, I guess look at all aspects of things, and obviously I can really talk from my own experiences, looking at all aspects of, like, say, being nurturing. You can be assertive, you can obviously delegate certain situations, but you can also decipher things as well. I'm quite an empathetic person, so you can pick up on like energies with people, and not all guys do that. So it could just be literally they're quite I don't know what it would be, like critical or analytical, but they'll just see something, this needs doing and done. Yeah, without really looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah, 1000%.
Yeah, and how certain things could impact other people, maybe mentally or physically, and maybe that's just something because they've never really had to deal with. Like, as women, we do speak about mental health quite a lot.
Yeah, which I think they should as well, because they definitely deal with it. But I think in science, they do say that we are wired differently. And I think it's proven through history, to be fair, that we're seen as mothers. We've always been the house leaders, like in way of looking after the kids, not the house leaders. But like we've always been the ones responsible for the chores, looking after the kids.
Yeah, and I guess it's like multitasking, because I always think, well, I'm not great at multitasking. But to be fair, you do. You constantly, myself as a mum, I'm always thinking about, okay, how's the day going to work?
Exactly.
And how's it going to work with regards to my husband, because we car share. So it'll be like, right, can you take me to work? Can you drop me off at this time? This is what's happening with the kids. And then he'll be like, right, I'm taking him there and whatever. But my whole day, I plan around what's happening with him, what's happening with the children.
You do, and I do the same in that
the whole
respect.
impact. And you do think about so many different aspects of it. I don't think, just get up, get ready.
Yeah, and you think about time. I'd rather give myself more time. I always give myself too much time because I will never be rushing and be stressed about being late.
Yeah.
Whereas my partner, he'll 9 times out of 10, he'll just be late, and he doesn't mind about that. He doesn't really care about being late because he won't have done the pre-planning beforehand, which as females, not to generalise, but I believe that we do that.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going back to the whole, we have that nurturing motherly thing about us. So yeah, I do agree with that. Obviously, I don't know what the study was based on, like what I was saying.
Forbes said it, so I'm saying Forbes.
But it's like, when you get those shampoo adverts and it says this is based on this scientific study, and you look at the little asterisks at the bottom, based on 35 women.
Yeah.
95% of them agreed.
That was me that wrote that. No one else. Me. I just made it up off the top of my head. I just thought, you know what? I need something good for the podcast, and I respect women, so frick it. But no, again, it's like factual. Like it's a study based on one occasion that can't actually justify the whole thing we're talking about. No. But opinionatively, I do agree.
That's the side that you're sticking with.
I think if I was in charge of COVID, I'd have done a much better job as a female.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a lot that went wrong with that, but we don't want to get cancelled, so we're not going to go deep.
No, I'm not going to speak about it because I don't really care. It's gone, been gone, done. Jinx. So, just in relation to that then, so with how females deal with things at work, how do you feel in regards to, because men and women both do this, but like when you've got a male manager or work with male colleagues, have you ever been flirted with, or do they always cross a line? Because with my experiences, they've always crossed a line. Always. You can't just work with a male colleague.
Yes. Trying to think of like an actual instance, but in general, because I can kind of generalize it, that guys can be quite forward sometimes, and I don't know whether they mean to or not, or it's just the way that they're speaking with regards to when they're speaking with a female. But I have found it that they're a little bit too relaxed in certain situations, or they overshare things which I feel, I'm not comfortable with you sharing with me. This is a working environment. I don't really know you like that. We're not friends, and I find it quite unprofessional. So there's certain things that have been disclosed to me, or the sort of banter that they're trying to put forward, that I'm not that I'm just not comfortable with, I guess.
Yeah, I do agree with that, but I've just had alternative experiences in work. I feel like there's always a time when, with what I've found anyway, that a man crosses a line in work when you work with them. I mean, I'm with my partner now, we met at work, so that says it all, doesn't it, really? Like we literally met at work, and God, he sprinted over that line with a flag. It was ridiculous. Like that man, he grafted, and don't get me wrong, I'm glad, but that was even at work. And the experience I've had observing as well, there's always flirty banter. Like you're bored at work, if there's a man and a female, like, and you fancy each other, you don't even have to fancy each other. If you're attracted to females and you are a male, it's a little bit of it is happening in the stock room. It is happening.
I can't get over that though, that it would actually be happening within the place of work.
Well, I've had loads of like conversations with my friends and stuff. Like when me and my partner was together at work, people used to ask us all the time, they was like, so you've never done it at work? And I was like, God, no, I've not thought about it, but now you say it. Now you say it, you shall be bending me over down the stockroom aisles, can't lie. No, we actually didn't, only because I just didn't think about it. Was at work, I didn't want to rip his clothes off at work. He was doing me head in. I see you 24/7.
Yeah.
Like, I see you all in the day, now I've got to see you at work. Bog off. Do you know what I mean?
I couldn't imagine in that sort of environment that I'd think,
Yeah, it was too much. But it's, in most cases, like, do you know when they work together in music and you find that the line's crossed? Like the whole thing with Kesha.
Yeah. Or even actors, they do the same things, don't they? Because they work close to each other, but...
Yeah, you got to think, like, if you're in a sexual scene with Miss Margot Robbie, God, you're wifed after that. I'm straight, but I would be wifed after that. Do you know what I mean? Like, what would you do if, like...
Oh, my dear.
Will Smith, you're in a sexual scene with him, you've got a man, but that's Will Smith. God, in love, sorry, you're no longer mine because I'm having Will Smith.
You would?
Nah.
No, I'm strictly professional.
Unless it was Harry Styles, then I would.
No, I can keep everything so professional.
I love that. That's good. That's respectable.
Yeah, I think, but obviously, I was going to say, maybe it's different because I'm in a relationship, but you're in a relationship.
Yeah, but Harry Styles, he can join. That's a three-way relationship, but it's only me and Harry and me and my partner. Them two are not. Them two aren't conjoining because that, for me, not a bit of me. But do you know what? I don't think he'd blame me. Harry Styles has got it for me. God, for one, God forbid. That ain't going to happen. But for two, yeah, come on, cash that in. Do you know what I mean?
But no, so I think the whole, like, depending on the environment, well, not even environment, because obviously it happens in corporate and it happens within all sorts of business settings, I guess. Myself, I think the worst thing that ever happened to me with regards to like a sexual thing was when I was quite young and had somebody who was trying to think how to share this without disclosing.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, because I don't really want to say what job it was. So there was somebody who was supposed to take care of myself and another group of girls, and basically this person was older than us and he was quite openly sharing like sexual things, and it made us feel so uncomfortable. It wasn't nice. He'd even ask us certain questions, a little bit creepy, to be fair. And even though we was friendly with the guy, obviously we wasn't friends. But it's not even just that, it was the way that he was coming out with certain things and wanting details about certain things, and we had to obviously speak to our boss about that. And
like details about what?
About sexual encounters, and he wanted to know how we felt about those things. Bearing in mind we were very young, it was like teenagers, 18 to 20-year-olds, and he was significantly older. And myself at the time, I said, we've got to speak out about this. We couldn't, when he was talking to us, it was just, we all kind of like clammed up and we didn't know what to say, and we didn't know what to do, and we kind of giggled a little bit and but we was all uncomfortable. And then when he'd gone, we would have had a conversation about it, but we didn't know how to confront it. And I said, we're going to have to go to our boss and speak about it, which was good. So we spoke to the boss about it, and we had a man and a woman as our bosses. So we spoke to them about it, and they dealt with the situation, but they also got us to speak in front of the guy who we was saying, did these things, which at the time I didn't think it was correct to do, because you wanted to speak so openly about what had happened, but to have to do that and that person saying, no, you're taking it the wrong way, and I didn't mean it like this, and I didn't mean it like that. And we're saying, it kind of like tried to...
Doesn't matter how you meant it, you knew that was crossing the line at work.
Yeah. And even if he said he didn't mean it that way, you never speak so openly and so sexually explicit, I don't think, with anyone.
Oh, yeah,
unless you've asked and you're literally having that two-way conversation.
Yeah.
But just to kind of just instigate the conversation. And he was just talking about some really bizarre things that he had done. And we wasn't even conversating at that point. We was all just like, oh.
Quite clearly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But then also, you got to think, that probably happens a lot and goes unnoticed, because when you're 19, 20, you think you're 50. Do you know what I mean? You think you're like 30 grown, you've got your life together. So you're not going to be thinking really half the time, well, in some cases maybe, that is unacceptable, because you mentally, you feel like you're more mature. So I bet that does get unnoticed quite a lot. So it was good that you did stand out for it and like stand up for what he'd done to you and making you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think if he'd have only said smaller things, we might not have even noticed, like what you said. I guess the immaturity of it, we might have just thought, oh, this is what it's supposed to be like at work. He's just being friendly or whatever. But I think it was just because he was so overly sexual with it.
Yeah.
And he used to always tell us like how much he liked younger girls, and obviously were younger girls, and it was a lot. So I never had the whole flirtatious side of stuff, like how you would say.
That's even worse what you've had.
Yeah,
and that's manipulation as well. Like that's how a lot of guys get away with it, manipulating, because I just don't understand the fantasy with young women, especially half of them have kids. Like when you've got kids and you've got kids that are that age, or imagine if that was your child and that was a man doing it to your child.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the naivety.
And he was actually probably old enough to be our granddad.
Jesus,
well.
That is awful.
So it wasn't even like any lines were sort of like misconstrued, because you can see it sometimes, can't you? Maybe somebody's 18 and they're chatting with somebody who's maybe 30 or something, and you're thinking, well, she's mature, she goes out, she's at uni, and you know, and
even I think
she's
that's
consenting.
Wrong.
But do you know what I mean? But it's different from, I guess, an 18-year-old and somebody in their late 50s to 60s.
Yeah, definitely.
Knowing that an 18-year-old isn't really going to be looking at that older guy like that.
Oh, it's awful. And I even think when I see it with the younger girls getting with the older guys, because in their heads that's like they're mature. When you've got to think, imagine if that role was reversed. When you get to that age, you are going to understand how wrong that was of you to do that. When you are 30, you're going to look at 18-year-olds and think, what was the attraction within that? That is absolutely
I think it's just because we think we're so grown up, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. So that's how they get away with it, because you think you're so grown up. Like mentally, when I was 19, I thought I was like going on 21. Do you know what I mean?
100%. I think even when I was probably like 14, I thought I knew how the world ran and how it
I was
existed.
like, I can pay my bills, I can live on my own, like I can have a man. And then when we say like when I was 18, I was like, 26 or above, or no chance.
Yeah.
What do I think I'm literally? I mean, I'm only 21 now, but even now I'm like more socially aware in that way. Yeah. But imagine 100%. 16, I want them 20 plus or not having me.
Yeah.
I want a man.
I want a grown man.
They're not men at 20, love, so don't bother, that's all I say.
Yeah, and with work as well, what I find with regards to like traditional roles, because obviously we're speaking like about lots of different sort of things, but I was doing bricklaying last year.
Yeah.
So I was learning that as I wanted to go out into the work.
Show us your pecs. Show us your pecs.
My pecs. My bicep.
Biceps, the seps. God, mine are absolutely terrible. That is awful.
The pecs, I love that.
The seps.
Show us your pecs.
Show us your seps. Honestly, highly admirable though. I wish I could.
Yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it, and I wanted to learn how to basically, build a conservatory, like an not a conservatory, like an extension on the back of my house, and I want to get into like the whole building trade and the science of those, and it's just something that really fascinates me. I watch all of like these building programs and
what ones do you watch? Because I bet you
watch everything.
The same ones my bloody dad watches, everything. And I tell you what,
literally from like DIY,
SOS, no, skip over. Do you know, I come back from a long day at work and that's on telly. I grab that remote and I switch
Under the Hammer.
You don't. I hate that one as well.
Buying properties and stuff, and then I'll watch like when people like move to different houses. So I watch
Home and Away. No, not Home and Away. What's it called? The Sun. And
I think
where they buy.
Yeah, I like all of those ones, but then I also like the ones where they do, I forget what it's called, but they basically go to somebody's house and they show like the whole construction, or whether they bought like a property and then they've done it up, or they bought a piece of land and they build it. So from start to finish, when it's taken them a year or 2 years, and everything, like to learn about planning and architecture. I love it all. It's just something that really fascinates me, I know. But obviously then I really would love to go work on an actual building site. So if there's any people out there who are hiring, I am your lady.
She's got the qualities.
I do.
She's got the qualities.
Basically with it though, you need to work on site to get the full qualification. So that's why I kind of put it on hold at the moment, because I got this job,
But that's just mental that you've done that, because for me, growing up as a female, bricklaying, I would never even assume that to be a possibility for me. That would never even be a thought, not even an afterthought, because it's like that I've never. Why would I be a bricklayer? I'm a female.
Yeah, I think it's come with age as well, because when I was younger and I went into college, I went into the typical female role of aesthetics.
Yeah, I
did beauty therapy, so I learned all of that. So I've got level 3 in beauty therapy. So anyone wants, I could do all your massaging, waxing, all of those sort of needs. Could do all of that, darling. So I literally went from one extreme to another.
Yeah.
But I think it was quite bizarre for people to see me at college, because, I mean, I don't wear makeup anyway, but I would be there with my nails because I put gloves on. And as a female, it was a little bit, in the beginning, you know, the boys were trying to help me out quite a lot because they think, well, you're a girl.
Yeah.
I'll pull your barrow for you. I'll load up your bricks. And
Which they think that they're being like doing chivalry by doing that, when actually that's undermining you. Like, no, I can do it myself. Do you know?
I was probably stronger than half the lads there, to be fair.
Oh, tell them. Yes.
You know, and I'm quite particular about how things look. So when it comes to actually doing a job, you would see the difference between myself and some of the boys. Like, they get the job done. Like, they were brilliant. There's some of the guys on the course, they were so good, but they were really fast. And not only do you want to be fast as a bricklayer, but obviously you want the job doing good, because I look at houses and I think, oh, gosh, they didn't gauge level plumb that, you know. And I'd literally look at like the separation of these things you wouldn't notice just walking down the street. But I think when I started doing bricklaying, I literally would look at how many millimeters the bricks were separated, thinking, oh, I wonder when this was built or what construction company did this.
Yeah, it's just because, again, females are wide different, and you've got more, you look at the whole image apart from, you know.
Yeah, I was so particular. I wanted to make sure everything was clean. The face of the brick was clean, whereas the other lads would go, well, it doesn't matter, we'll clean it off with brick acid. If it was on a job, that's what you do. And I said, yeah, but why not just do it so it actually just looks perfect anyway?
Yeah.
It might take you 10 minutes longer just to do that set of bricks, but it's not all just about making the money. I think with me, I've always been very job satisfaction. And if I'm going to be in any sort of a job, I want everything done well. So I'm particular.
But then with that, do you ever think, like, say if you was going to a job and you're a female, would you feel like really like a lot of pressure because you've got, say, a guy there like, oh God, we've got a female doing this, she ain't gonna know what she's doing. Yeah. Like, you've got some Tony stood behind you with a coffee like, you're right, love, do you need a hand?
Yeah, in a way, because I mean, I spoke to my brother about this, and he's a bricklayer as well. He's got his own construction company as well, and he goes out there. But he was talking about, you know, kind of like the politics when you're on site. So a lot of the time they don't hire a lot of females because they just want one set of toilets. So it's just for the guys to go in. So if you've got one where you want to say, well, this is strictly safe for females and whatever. I mean, it might be different now because obviously you have a lot of unisex toilets now, don't you? So
you do, yeah.
It's one of those. But one of those things did make me feel a bit apprehensive, not just having to use the toilet, but you just think about, how does it work when you need to use the toilet? Because guys, sometimes they'll just, you know, whip it out and they carry on.
Yeah, it's easy for them. I almost wish I had one, because it's like you just literally whip it out. If anyone sees it, it's only a todger. It don't really matter, does it?
But then I'm thinking, am I going to lose out on money if I've got to then keep on leaving the site? I don't want people to think, because I like to drink a lot of water. I like to stay hydrated, guys. You know?
She does.
It's one of those. Water. So I'm thinking I'd like to be able to just go to the toilet, but are they going to think, oh, is she on a period, or is she wasting time? Is she wasting money? And I think as a female, I would maybe try and overcompensate in a way to
but that's
believe
also,
I could do better.
Do you not think that's overthinking it as well as female?
Possibly.
Because I think you probably are overthinking it there.
Yeah, possibly.
With that. But I think I'd be more worried about what people think, which is so ridiculous, isn't it? What people think, but you've got to think, what if men are looking at you thinking, God, she don't know what she's doing?
But yeah, for me, I'm quite thick-skinned, so I wouldn't really take that to heart. But yeah, I'd love to be given the opportunity to be able to work on site and kind of just break down barriers. I'm always like one of those, I wouldn't say that I'm a feminist per se, but I definitely am an advocate for women. And I do feel as if that, you know, we are so capable at lots of different things that we shouldn't be put into boxes.
Oh, definitely. And I think that goes for men as well, because I was a fashion student and there was about 4 men on my course, 4 men. And just because it was fashion, men think, oh, that's not a course for me, I can't do that, it's for girls. And even I did this, I'd assumed they were gay. They weren't gay. And when you look at the history of fashion and stuff, most of the top names, they're all men.
Yeah.
Chanel, like all this, they're men. Like, it started off with men. They created the history, and it's such a technical job, and it's so fulfilling that I just think, why would you not want to do that? And it's so much more than fashion. But I think a lot of them missed out on it because it was a sort of a job that they felt they couldn't do because they were men. Yeah,
I do feel now though that the time is changing and things are open so much more. I do feel like we have a little bit of the sort of like, not stigmatism, but I feel, you know, because there are so many rules in place that some people feel as if they can't be openly speak about certain things. So I do feel like there should be more men in certain industries and more women in certain industries, but just because they're capable of doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Not because of the
just
gender.
Because they feel as if we have to tick a box
Yeah.
nowadays. So it is opening doors because people are having to tick boxes, but I think it should not just be based on that. We should just
definitely.
be able to come through just because we are capable and that we're
It's
good.
based on your skills, not whether you are a man or a woman. It's based what skills have you got, what do you enjoy, what do you want to do, and how are you going to be successful in your life. And I think anything else is irrelevant, and it's so relevant to the point where I just think, what's the point in even like living by that?
Yeah.
Because I'd hate to be a man and my main passion is like creativity in the media and like fashion publication, or be a woman and be like, I really, really enjoy like a hands-on job that I'm going to earn good money from, but feel like because of my gender, I'm going to be worried about being stereotyped as gay, for one, or being judged, or I feel like that's not even an option.
Like you're
for
not
me.
capable. Imagine like you turn up to, you know, they've rang somewhere to get a plumber to come, and you turn up with your lashes, your hair, your nails.
Me
done.
about 5 foot,
5
like,
foot nothing, you know.
10-year-old boy body as well. God.
Do you know what I mean? And you're like, hi.
Yeah.
You know, I'm Holly, come to fix your toilet. They'll
They
go,
won't let
come
me
again.
in. They go, is your dad coming to help you or something? Like,
Yeah, and it shouldn't be like that. It should just be literally, come on in then. Do you want a cup of tea?
yeah, like, what do you want to drink? Nothing from your house, thank you very much. But I'll get on with my job.
Yeah.